In these emails that we would send to media or tastemakers, people that we want to come out to the premiere, how much fluff do we pack the email with, the correspondence with, and then how soon do we get to the point? We don't want to be too blunt. We want to be able to be genuine, but we know that everybody likes a little bit of praise. So where's that fine line?
I got a very good story. I got a very good pitch. Someone sent me a pitch, last week for Holly Shorts. I'm not saying I'm going to accept this film, but they made a compelling case. Basically, they had quotes from a lot of credible people. Actually, I'm sorry, this wasn't even a film. This was a stage play from an alumni. And he was just one-liner saying, this person said this about the play, this person said this about the play. That's more of a review thing. I would say pack in testimonials, truth testimonials about the project in the film somehow, if you can get some pretty good names, credible names. But I wouldn't get too fluffy. Get the core news in the first paragraph. Who, what, when, where, why. And then how do I buy tickets? And then who's in it, the website, link, hype it up as far as world premiere, because it is. Your facts, you gotta not embellish, but state your facts. This is the first time this film is being shown publicly. This is the world premiere. And then if you get the talent that you say, you gotta put the talent first. I tell my clients, we work with the machines. We don't have the Disney budget, but if you're working with Disney, we gotta include them somehow. Work with the machines. Figure out your top selling points and capitalize on them in your headline, in the opening. If you get this artist, we gotta use them. Downtown Independent, that's a brand, we gotta use them. World premiere, Downtown Independent, 1 week run. Use the machines, use the big brands, and use them first. That's not fluff, that's facts. And then quotes from you, your quote, when you talk about the film, you put a quote in that press release, that's when you can kind of, big yourself up. We're delighted to be having this 1 week run, this film, some good stuff, some really good juice. But I would use the machines, use the brands.
Now, one thing we don't have yet, Theo, is...
and talent, sorry.
All right,
brands and talent.
Maybe I should come back to this idea. In terms of saying what you're saying there, how do you assess the selling points? From what you've seen of our film, Goodbye Promise, what would you say, these are the definite selling points, these are some of the things that you should include in your pitch?
It's a good question. I would say, the filmmakers, look at us. We're the people behind Film Courage, one of the top, next podcast to watch, ranked by Movie Maker, the filmmakers. You guys are the, you guys are already ranked by National Magazine as people to watch. So you have to include that in your branding. The filmmakers, the talent, use the talent, the talent, if they've had a very big, credible TV series or a movie that they were on, you got to include that. You got to include that up early. That's what sells. That's what people want to care about. Why am I going to go to this movie? All right, this person was in this movie. Oh crap! Okay, cool. Or these guys. These are the guys behind Film Courage. I got to go to this. It's at the Downtown Independent. All right, I got to go there. It's only available for 1 week. This is something I got to attend. I'm telling you this from a media perspective, and the media perspective is the consumer perspective. They want to see the brands.
Premiere day, what do we need to do? What do we need to know?
Yeah, I think you need to send out a media advisory, even if it's not a media advisory, a general advisory to everyone that's attending. And then the day before, you send them a reminder. Tomorrow is our world premiere. Media day, you got to have your, if you're going to do some kind of step and repeat, or if you don't have a budget for a step and repeat, and you have posters, you can print up some really good posters on foam cord and easel. You see a lot of the independent films do this. And then you can do setups and photos, have your talent arrive early and yourselves, and then you invite some good people that can interview you on the carpet or take some good photos that you can use, and those photos can stay online forever. And then,
staying with the media advisory, what goes into that exactly?
It's very similar to press release, but it's more of a who, what, when, where, why, and it's very short. It's like a one-pager that says, this is the premiere, the world premiere, this is where it's happening. If you want to interview us, please contact us. Advisory is important because it's almost kind of like a reminder that this is happening. If there's a new story that's been written about it already, that's fine, but they still get the media. And you can use it. It's not just for media; it's for everybody. It's kind of like a tune-in alert. Like, let's say you do an interview on TV on the Reels channel. It's going to air tonight. Your publicist would send out a tune-in alert, and you can send it to all your contacts and say, watch the Reels channel, because then they can watch, they can tweet about it, they can talk about it. And sometimes media picks up media advisories too. They'll post it online. Media advisories important.
Any type of literature that we should have at the screening?
Good question. Yeah, I'm missing a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you've prepared a press kit, definitely have that. If not, have the one-pager press release. But yeah, I mean, bios of your key cast, bios of yourselves, one sheets. Like if there's if you've done, like I said, the poster. But if you got like a one-page glossy photo of the theatrical poster of your film, you should have that. Also, let me go back up. You should tell the Downtown Independent or your screening room, if they have the capabilities to put your one sheet in their put your name in the marquee if possible. If that's a barrier negotiation, definitely have that available. And then make sure that your posters are available. Are made. You got to have some branding up there. And then you should have handouts. And then just cool, unique stuff that you can do too. You should do some prizes at the end, some giveaways with the audience. Get some free copies of the movie. We do a ton of like cool giveaways sometimes, and then so I mean, I would entice that audience as well to continue the word of mouth chatter and tell them, guys, when you're doing your introduction speech and you talk about the making of the film and everything, please tell your friends that this little indie movie that could is available here in Downtown Independent. I'll entice more people to come. A lot of the Oscar films, a lot of the independent Oscar films or documentaries per se, they rely strongly on word of mouth, to get national following, because a lot of the documentaries don't have the budgets similar to the massive studio houses. Sometimes these are very small independent homes, and I've watched them, and they're very strategic, and they capitalize on social media, and they capitalize on word of mouth, and they get people saying things, that reciprocate nationwide. I mean, for instance, there's a cool thing that Good Morning America does that you guys can replicate. I think you guys have done this too. It's like, you capture people saying interesting things. I think what did GMA say? They were like, say 3 things that you like about the Oscars, or think 3 things about your film. It's like 3 words or something, and say it creatively or something. And people will write them on note cards and put them, and they create like this national thing where it's on Good Morning America and everyone's talking about their movies, and that's how they're promoting their films. You can do something, there's all types of creative ways that are non-traditional media that you can use,
And speaking of budget, what if the budget isn't there for a glossy handout?
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay to have something that's just sort of something you photograph or put in the copy machine, and it's sort of handmade looking? I mean, how much money do you...
No rules. No rules apply here. Bottom line is you got to be creative, and there's got to be some kind of selling point to your audience, and then you got to be creative with some type of theme too in the film. Maybe there's a scene that really kind of all right, let's go backwards. There is a film that I just saw that just aired on TV. It's the Cedar Rapids, right? Cedar Rapids. Now it's different. We're talking about studio budget, right? But it's Sundance 2 years ago. Guys are so creative. They knew what the theme is of their film, right? The core theme is it's an insurance. This is an insurance guy, and he's going out on this incredible adventure for the first time to a convention, a national convention that he's never been to before, and he's got to represent his company and save the company. So, the movie was already picked up, I feel, before it went to Sundance, but these guys rented out just some kind of like restaurant space or something at Sundance, and they turned it into a insurance office, and so they use that as the backdrop to do their interviews and their cast briefings and everything. So you got to find some kind of theme in the film that you can capitalize on and make some kind of experience with it, something creative, and then that becomes a theme, and then the audience resonates to it. They're like, oh, that's what that is. And then you can tell it, you can invite your influencers to check it out. So I know we're dealing with a short time crunch, but keep that in mind. There's always some kind of theme that you can bring a tie into. And, you know, with this guerrilla filmmaking nation, you can tap in social too, you know? I mean, the Tumblr, you can develop that Tumblr page, develop, everything should be reciprocated everywhere, you know? Like, do some kind of cool video, drop it on YouTube, you know, have everyone, you know, put that link when you're sending out your blast and say, check out the special word from, I don't know, you can do some very creative stuff right now that creates viral buzz that will drive audiences to your film. You know, whether it be a special video, a special message, someone saying something, a testimonial campaign. The thing about viral is you gotta tap into traditional as well. So when you're sending out the media blast to your folks and you're having your folks send it out, link it to the YouTube that you created or link it to the Tumblr page that you created. Tap into traditional. That's what's going to help your viral.